So, what did you think about Loch Ken, mate?
Well, it was thoroughly enjoyable. You know, we came away with sufficient points to get to here.
Yeah.
And I think we had some interesting fishing.
Yeah, right. I thought it was great. I mean, the weather was really interesting. The loch was beautiful, and you know, we really scratched together the fish we needed. I mean, we actually got 6 species of fish. We didn't get anything big, but for me, it was a classic 1-0 away. We worked out what we got to do, and we got the job done. It wasn't pretty, you know, in terms of the big showcase fish, but it was very solid. And here we are now. We've worked our way all the way down the eastern side of the country. We've made a big jump over 200 miles, I believe, and we're now heading towards the River Trent, which is very exciting.
Well, we should pick up a few points here because there's a lot of species here that we haven't caught.
There is.
There's the obvious one, which is the barbel.
Yep.
Chub, but there's some difficult ones now.
Eels.
Eels, gudgeon and zandra.
Ah, gudgeon, yes. Well, that's very important because I don't think we'll get another shot at gudgeon after this.
No.
So if this is do or die on gudgeon.
Yeah.
So gudgeon is a big, well, it's not a big species, but you know what I mean. As far as this shoot's concerned, it's a very big species.
Well, I'm going to go for a gudgeon first off, I think.
Yes, yes.
Well, there's the river, mate.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's in perfect trim, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's actually, I thought it would be a bit higher than the water would be higher than this one. Oh, it's very nice, mate, yes.
It's very good of the club to let us fish down here, isn't it?
Well, our big target here, of course, on the River Trent is barbel. They've really started to shine on this river in the last few years. You've got to say, probably the Trent at the moment is Britain's best river in terms of all-round fishing. So I'm really excited to be here, to be honest, and I love barbel fishing. Well, that was some drive, but we've made it. We're on the Trent, and to be honest, I can't wait. Well, here on the Trent, the species that's done really well in recent years, among others, is the barbel. And I absolutely adore barbel fishing, and these days you've got so many choices about how to fish them. There's some wonderful baits around, and shortly I'll tell you about how I'm going to go about doing it here on the Trent and how I have been fishing. But let's just have a quick look at the baits available to us. It's a massive spread from some of the classics like the maggots we've got at the back here, hemp seed, and then obviously luncheon meat, which is a real barbel classic, still as good as ever. And then in more recent times, we moved into the era of the pellets and the boilies, the classics, marine halibut, and then boilies. My favourites are the sauce and these complex tea, which you can also get in pellet form actually. They do a complex tea pellet, which I really like. All of these baits will catch fish, but obviously it's dependent on the way that you fish them. And today I'm going to fish the feeder. And it's an open-ended feeder, and that means I'll be using ground bait. And I know from all my time on the bank that very few anglers actually know how to mix ground bait. So what I'm going to do now, if you don't know how to mix ground bait, well, this is for you, because this is how to do it. So the first thing to know is that you must mix ground bait in a round bowl, because a round bowl has no corners to trap dry powder in. We want the ground bait to be even in terms of the moisture that's distributed. I like this ground bait. I think a lot of people do. It's a mixture of marine halibut pellets ground up and frenzied hemp. The hemp helps the ground bait to explode out of the feeder. So this one is my favourite. And what I do, I start off by just pouring in a decent amount into the bowl like that. And then the most important thing is to use river water, which I've collected earlier on in this bucket. And basically the way I like to do it is just literally flick water onto the ground bait like this. Mix it in, and this is where the round bowl comes in, because look, you want to get plenty of air into the mix. Use your fingers like a food blender and just keep adding water. And basically what you want to do at the first point is actually mix it a little bit wetter than you think you'll need, because it will dry out after you've done this, and you may need to top up with a small amount of water every now and again if you're on a hot day and the sun dries your ground bait out. Look at this, it's nice and fluffy still, it's not gone into a stodge, and that's because I'm using the round bowl, not getting it trapped in the corners. Get some air into it. Use your hand, as I say, as a food blender, and just try and break up those particles. Now, this is lovely. A little bit damp for what I want, but I know from experience that'll dry out in a couple of minutes to be perfect. If you want to know whether you've done it right, first of all, check that there's no big lumps in it, right? Because if you've got dry ground bait and wet patches, you'll have hard lumps in there. Second thing, take a handful, squeeze it together, and it should stick. But if you pull it apart again, it all breaks down into that lovely fine crumb. And the match anglers actually use a bait riddle to make it even finer. I don't think you need to do that with big fish, but that's it. That is how you mix ground bait. And that's the ground bait I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be fishing with pellets and with boilies, and I'll be using the open-ended feeder. And with any luck, I might just catch a barbel. We'll see.
Well, I'm on a recce now. There could be a better swim nearby, so I'm just going to check a few swims out. And I'm looking for something that's not got too much pace, bit of slack water in the edge, and of course if there's any fish dimpling, small fish, that's a bonus. So there's a few very nice swims up here. I'm going to take a look at them.
After years of experience of studying rivers and fishing rivers, you get to understand the effects of the current and how that affects the location of the fish. So when I look at a new piece of river for the first time, I'm really looking for where the obvious fish holding features are. Bends are a very good example of that, because the inside and the outside of a bend have both got, you know, positive characteristics depending on the height of the river. I'm also trying to gauge the general pace and what the bottom might be like. Now I'd probably have to cast in to discover that, to find out whether it's soft or hard, whether I'm fishing gravel or silt. And that time spent observing the water, studying the currents, where it's slack, where it's a bit faster, where it might be deep, where it might be slow, and all that sort of thing. It's hard to describe. It's almost like getting in tune with the water. The first half an hour there, well, that was a bit of a knock then. The first half an hour there, you're really just getting for a feel. You don't go mad, don't wallop loads of bait in until you're absolutely sure that, you know, it's worthwhile. You're just trying to get into the mood, get the rhythm of the river, get in tune with it, and go from there. And then once you've gauged the mood of the fish, how they're responding to what you're doing, then you can either up the feed, go more aggressive, and some days you have to go very conservative and think, well, the best I can do today is maybe get 1 or 2 bites. And it's the ability to recognise the weather conditions, their influence on the fish, the state of the river, the types of fish, where do barbel like to be, where do chub like to be, and so on. It's what we call rivercraft. The Trent is quite a strong river, powerful river. It's deep, and in this part you can see it's moving through at a good old trot. So we need quite a lot of weight to hold out, certainly in the middle. And I'm using a swim feeder. Now this is an open-ended swim feeder. It's open that end and it's open that end, and it's got holes in it so the water can attack it. It's what we call a ground bait feeder. Now to fish with this for barbel, first thing to do is to create a plug of ground bait by putting some in the feeder and pushing it against the palm of your hand like that. Just pack it down, just to compact it. And then got some little pellets here, we can just put a few of those in. Slightly bigger pellets, a few of those. Even broken boilies if you want. And then top it off and squeeze top and bottom, finger and thumb. And that's it. It's as simple as that. One of the most important things about fishing with a swim feeder is accuracy. What you're trying to do is not spread bait all over the river by chucking it randomly upstream, downstream, wherever you like. What you should be doing is picking a spot and working that spot. It's a target. Just keep crashing that feeder on. Bang, 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 bang on the money every time. And eventually, instead of being scared of the splash, they'll see it as a dinner gong. And that is when the real fireworks start. I've not fished the Trent much. I've fished a couple of times many, many years ago. So that when the chance came up to fish it and to work with the Nottingham Piscatorial Society, who've got some very, very good water, I was excited. And when I got here, it wasn't anything like what I thought. I thought it would be probably a bit bigger, featureless, quite industrial. And instead I came and found this beautiful river. I was very excited, and to be honest, I still am. I really love barbel fishing, and this is now a barbel. Here we go, here we go. This is a barbel mecca, as I was just saying, and I'm into one. How about that, eh? Oh, it's come off. I don't believe that. Fish has just pulled off. That doesn't happen with barbels, something wrong there. No, it's just, hook's just pulled out. Weird. Never mind.
Well, I've looked at one or two swims and I've got to say I don't really fancy them. The trouble is I'm getting further and further away from base camp, further away from Matt. But I do like the look of this one. This is a possibility.
Well, I'm re-rigging actually, because when I wound in there and inspected my line, the hook link, I found it was slightly curly, and I don't trust that because barbel are strong fish, and you know you don't want to be breaking the line. So I'm actually going to retie another rig, even though I probably would have got away with it, but I'm not going to risk it. You can't with barbel. Odd number of turns. I did 6 there. That's bad luck. You've got to do 5 or 7. No, honestly, I think I don't risk it. Honestly, I don't. If I'm whipping a hook, this is going to sound mad, right? I've snelled this one with 7 wraps. I did 6, and oh no, that's an even number. And you can see where I've snelled it here, and it's a nice tight little wrap, but it's 7 wraps. It has to be an odd number, 5 or 7 or 9 for me. Ah, he snagged. That's solid, that is. I'm hoping the fish will swim out. I'm having some bad luck here. This is the second fish I've hooked, and this one's gone straight into a snag. I was dithering a bit at the start, and the fish took advantage of it. Come on, baby, he's coming out. He's coming out. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Trying to get the fish to swim out the snag, but I don't know whether it will. It might come out the other side. I'll just move to this spot down here. Sometimes if you pull from a different angle, the fish will come out. So I'm going to drop some line into the flow, and then I'm going to wind from lower down. I think there's a snag out there. It's not in that one, but it's gone into something else. I can feel it going through something on the bottom, like branches or something, and I get it so far and it won't come out. No, that won't come out.
So I've just trod in the maggots. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. A gudgeon, well that's what we want, 50 points. Now the gudgeon, it looks like a miniature barbel actually, but it's a different species entirely, and it won't grow much bigger than that. That's quite a specimen for a gudgeon. Well, I've fished hard today to get a gudgeon, and just as the light's fading, I've actually got two. I've got a brace of gudgeon. They're hardly specimen fish, but the important thing is it's a new species for us. It gives us 50 more points, and that was going to take us on quite a way. An interesting thing about the gudgeon, an interesting fact I found out, is they're pretty good to eat. I don't think many people do it nowadays, but in times gone by they used to bake 30, 40, 50 gudgeon into a pie, and it was quite a delicacy. But these two are going to escape the oven, they're going back. I'm really pleased with them. They're beautiful little fish.
Well, here we are, take two. I've got another fish on, and this time I'm determined not to lose it. I think I'll cry if I do. Fish is just out in front of me now, dogging around. It's certainly a few pounds. I don't think it's a huge barbel, but it feels decent. The problem with rod race is that the pressure to land a fish, which you don't normally feel when you're fishing for pleasure, is really right on your shoulder. I'm playing this a little bit with kid gloves. I just don't want to lose it, because bear in mind that if I land this fish, it's 50 points. It's a new species. It's nice when you're fishing for barbel if you've got what's called a fighting drag, which allows you to make small adjustments to the main drag setting without altering it. So if you return this to the central position, it will be on your original drag setting. But it means that if a barbel's going to bolt and you just need to give it, just nudge it to the left or the right, and you can either put more pressure on or let it run. Well, I've discovered one thing about River Trent barbel. They don't like coming to the bank. Now, we've got a problem in here, because underneath me, these are very sharp rocks. And if that barbel gets the line across those rocks, it will just cut me off. And the problem is there's mussel beds in here, and they'll slice the line like a knife through butter. So I've got to be sure the fish is going to come up, and then bring him up over those rocks at the last minute to avoid the disaster. He's getting very close now, but he's staying down. They always make another run. Remember that. They will never come to the net first time, ever. 50 points. That's a nice fish. A bit bigger than I thought. Beautiful. Maybe one more little run, but it could come in there. What a fabulous fish. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. You're a beauty. And I'm going to call you £8. I'm not going to weigh it to mess you out. It's a solid 8. Go on. This race is on now. Well, we dance again. It's getting dark now, the moon's up over there I can see, and a beautiful sunset over the far bank. And I'm into another fish. Feels decent. I'm delighted. I mean, it's just fabulous, this. I mean, I know we're on a rod race, but it is good fun. It really is. You can't hurry barbel. They won't let you. This one's coming fairly easy. I don't think it's a huge fish, but sometimes they can like fight under the rod tip, start fighting then, and that's the worst. I'm never in a hurry to get the fish under the rod tip too quickly, you know. It's a dangerous position to bring them into slack water when they've still got a lot of fight. And they can cause you a lot of problems on the snags on the inside. So I like them to fight out in the river a little bit before I actually start to really look at thinking about landing them, just from long experience. Fish is coming close now. Oh, it's trying to get around that tree root there. Here she comes. You know, this is a great time to catch barbel. You mustn't be in too much of a hurry to leave the river, because this hour around dusk, it is the magic hour, and it's often when you catch some of the bigger fish too. And this one's really not happy. Still, this could be it. This could be it. Yep. Yes. Beautiful. Well, that's another nice fish. Now folks, I'm going to move slightly aside because it's getting very dark and you need to see this fish. If I can grab it, I can't get my hand around it though. It's always a good sign. I'm used to picking them up, but this one, he's a chunk. He's a chunk. Oh, I mean, these are just magnificent fish. They're just beautiful. Look at that. I'm going to say 8 pound. It's a solid 8 pound this, definitely. Well, that's a beautiful barbel. Whoops. And I'm going to just lift it over the front of the net. Over there. Hold it out with one hand. Look at that. Beautiful fish. And ready to go. Well, I've had a great day. I've lost a couple of fish. I've caught a few fish, and what a beautiful river, beautiful time of night, cracking autumn day. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well, you know, you can't beat a bit of breakfast on the bank, and when you're on a road trip like this one, you've got to keep yourself going. And I know the Duke of old, the one thing that's guaranteed to get him performing well is a bacon and sausage sandwich. Lovely. The team's really enjoying the experience actually of camping, going around the country and doing these fishing challenges, and it's all part of it doing this, you know. It's, anglers know that, it's part of the adventure. I mean, probably the best food you'll ever eat in your life is bacon and sausages cooked on the riverbank. I kid you not, and if you haven't done it, you're missing out. I'm cooking slow because I've lost my fishing partner who's wandered off up the bank somewhere for reasons best known to himself, but anyway, I'm sure he'll come back, he usually does.
Well, the plan today for me is to try to catch a zander or an eel. They're two species we really badly need. And I tried yesterday, I didn't have any success at all. But now I'm going to try something different, and I'm going to put a big Loch Ken feeder on about the size you would use for barbel fishing, 2.5 ounce weight on it. But instead of packing it with ground bait and pellets, as Matt would be doing for barbel, I'm going to pack it with chopped fish. And then I shall put a trace on, a wire trace, with a chunk of fish. And I'll probably use a single hook, and with the hope that either an eel will pick it up, a zander might pick it up, and there's even the possibility of a pike. And a pike would do because, you know, we need the pounds. You know, if it's a 10-pound pike, that's 10 points, 10 miles. So it just depends whether the fish are in the swim. So I'm going to catch small coarse fish now, chop it up, put it in the feeder, and put a chunk of fish on the hook. Now, something else I might try is putting a chunk of mackerel on the hook. A lot of people don't think that eels and zander will pick up mackerel, but in my experience, they do. I've caught lots and lots of eels. Well, not so many eels. I've had a few eels on mackerel, but I've had a hell of a lot of zander on mackerel. So if there is zander in the swim, I'm fairly optimistic I'll get a bite. But of course, zander can be very swim specific. There might not be any in this swim. But the stink that's going to come from that Loch Ken feeder, filled with chopped fish, could draw them up from hundreds of metres down the river. So it's just a matter of casting in and waiting and just see what happens. I have been lucky before, you know.
Well, for me, you know, this is important because when you go on a trip like this, it's not like going fishing with your mates. You've basically got to keep yourself on the road. There's other guys in the crew, you've got to eat, you've got to get bait. So there's loads of other things that go on, you know, around the shoot, and this is just a part of it. But for me, when you're doing a road trip with a group of guys and they're a brilliant team, you know, enjoy it. Smell the coffee along the way, that's what I say. And taste the bacon sandwiches.
It's the way to start the day.
Do you reckon they're cooked all right, Tom?
I do.
What do you think, Rye? Well, go on, bite it then and tell me. What are you smelling it for? I'll tell you what, I definitely don't want to give the crew botulism, but I have to look after my director. Here you are, Mr. Director. Here's your sandwich. Where are you? There you are.
Oh. Well, I'm all ready to start the day. I've got my rods out, nice cup of coffee, and Matthew is making me a bacon sandwich. I mean, living like a lord, aren't I? Well, more like a duke, I suppose.
You know, mate, get your laughing gear around that. I've made it a bit crispy for you.
Good, good.
And I'll give you a tea cosy for your pepper pot later on.
Right, yeah, can you get me a hot towel as well?
No, piss off.
Okay. It's hard work, this filming. I'm only fussy when my porridge is concerned.
Hey?
You know, and I like a plum in my porridge, but...
Well, you're not having a plum. Because I couldn't get any plums at the car. They were all out of plums.
Were they?
Would you believe it? Well, actually, there is a Portuguese plum shortage.
Is there really?
Yeah, I read about it in the paper the other day. So the only action you're going to get with plums is if somebody kicks you in the plums.
Or I could be plumbing the depth.
Morally, I think you do that regularly as well.
Yeah, yeah. God, he's a cheeky young whippersnapper. Really is.
Well, after cooking Sir M a fine bacon and sausage sandwich this morning, I've just had a cast out and I'm into a fish, literally second cast, and it feels like a good fish. It's heavy, and really difficult to move, so that's a good sign. Yeah, nothing too dramatic with the fight so far, and what I've found with the barbel is if it's a plodder and it just stays deep and you can't really get it up, but it doesn't go too quickly, it doesn't bomb about, it's just languishing and wallowing a little bit there, you're into a decent fish. And this one, not made a big run yet. Now it's out in front of me and I've not really lifted it off the bottom yet. Here he comes, fin up, right on the surface. Incredible that. It's not often you see that with a barbel, with its dorsal fin up as it comes in. That's very unusual actually. Right, it's coming back towards me now, it's out in front of me again. You never get a barbel on the first go, they always go. And usually they'll go 3 or 4 times when you drop the net in, so be ready for it. By the way folks, in case you're wondering why I've got this plastic on the rod handle, it's not because I'm lazy, it's because this is a prototype rod I'm testing, and it's been in testing for 5 years, not by me but by other people. I've got to say it's amazing, but maybe more about that later. Look at this fish now, it's a nice barbel. Here she comes. Now it might go this time, it might come in. Yeah, that's a nice fish to start the day. Woo! Beautiful barbel. I think I'll put that one on the mat so you can have a proper look at it. That's certainly a beautiful barbel. Whew, that was exciting. I've never seen a barbel with its dorsal fin up like that before. As it was coming in, its dorsal fin up was up like a marlin cutting the surface of the water coming after a lure. But this is a lovely fish. How about that there? Let's get on the mat. It's worth getting wet knees. And just let it calm down first. Because it's not been out of the water yet, so it's in good nick. And there she is. Whoo! That's a nice fish. I'll weigh that, but I'm guessing it's just over 9. Very nice, beautiful barbel. Barbel are indigenous to eastern flowing rivers in Britain, so anything that doesn't open out onto the east side is not likely to be a natural barbel river. So some of your best barbel rivers like the Severn and the Bristol Avon have had them stocked. But actually the Trent would traditionally, I believe, before the Great Continental Drift, have had a population of these Danubian barbel. That's it. Okay, Tom boat. Whoa, Tom. A £9 barbel is a beautiful fish. And don't forget, in terms of this rate, it gets us 9 miles further down the road. So I'm doubly delighted. But as a fisherman, who wouldn't want to catch a fish like that? This is not really work, is it?
Well, I got off to a slow start this morning because I need to completely re-rig from the way I was fishing yesterday. And, you know, it takes time. We've got a lot of tackle to sort through. And I wanted to get it just right. You know, we've only got so much time at each venue. And I think I'm fishing right. I think I'm rigged up right now. And, you know, we've got a bit more time. Matt's catching a few barbel, which is helping with the points and the miles. But I really, not just for the rod race, but from my own point of view, I would love to catch a zander or an eel. And I think I'm fishing in a way that I've got a chance anyway. Well, I've got the rigs out there and I'll show you how I'm fishing with the Loch Ken feeder. So I'm taking one of these little joey mackerel. First of all, I'm going to make the hook bait. So I'll just nip the head off and I'm going to cut a chunk. You can see all the blood pouring out. And that produces the scent trail that draws the predators up towards them. But notice the way I'm cutting it. it's got a thin end and a thick end. And what I do is put the hook in the thin end so that it doesn't get masked by the bait. When I strike, I should get a very clean strike from that. And then what I'm going to do now is make up a real stinking concoction to put into the block end feeder. And I'm just going to cut the rest of the mackerel into little pieces, trying to retain as much blood as I can, because it's that scent trail that will draw the predators up towards it. Well, there's the feeder packed with attractive bits of fish, and hopefully that's going to attract an eel, a zander, and possibly a pike. And now I'll show you the hook bait. All I'm going to put on is this little chunk of mackerel. As soon as the eel or the zander picks it up, the rod tip should rattle, and I'll just lift the rod and it should be on. That's the theory. It works elsewhere. Whether it will work today, I don't know. Zander weren't in the Trent a few years back, but somehow through the, I don't know, people say they were illegally stocked. They probably worked their way through the canal system and got into the Trent. And they've just made the most fantastic fishing. The zander fishing in the Trent is probably as good as anywhere in the country. They're really at home here, probably because there's so many silverfish in this river. And you know, they're catching some really big ones. And I think the next zander record will come from the Trent. 20-pounders are being caught nowadays. And what used to be a rare fish, a double figure zander, is an everyday fish in the Trent, really. But for the purposes of the rod race, I just want to catch one of any size.
Well, I think this is another good fish. It's wallowing a bit and not really running away too quickly, so it feels heavy. I think we're another 8-9 pound class here. I'm really pleased, because actually this is adding a lot of points, and I'm just ticking off the towns we might go through as we go down, because I know where we're going next. No, it's great, and we've got a lovely day here on the Trent. I could think of worse things to be doing, let's put it that way. The rod race is going really well. I mean, we're as good as I think we could be. Obviously I've run different scenarios through my mind, and then there's always this constant thing, do you go for pounds or do you go for species? Because remember, a new species is 50 points. But as I've always said, we'll eventually run out of new species, opportunities, and then it's going to come down to weight. So for me, we're absolutely line ball with where I wanted to be, at the better end of it. So far so good, but you know, this is a rod race and things can go wrong. So while it's good, you ride the wave, and that's what I'm doing now. It's going. Once they get into the slack water on the inside, if they've got any energy left, they'll run you around for ages. You've got to let them fight out there if you can, because otherwise it's in, out, and while they're doing this, that's when you lose the fish, usually near the net, you know. Let them fight out a bit, that's my advice if you can, and then bring them in. Not ready yet. They'll fight forever and a day in slack water under the rod tip, you know, if you don't wear them out. Okay. No. Yes. Oh, shoot. Another really nice fish. I'm on a roll. And it's not a sausage roll, it's a proper roll. I'm having an amazing day. Can't get my hands around it, look. It's a proper pig, this one. It's a river pig. Let's have a look where the hook is. It's just the same as all the others, right in the corner. And no danger of it coming out when it's in there. Well folks, I'm having a fantastic day. That's another beautiful fish. £8. What a day I'm having. It's always good when a plan comes together, you know.
You know, I'm starting to get a bit worried because we need another species to get a big chunk of points, but my feeling is we're not going to get a zander or an eel, because I've been speaking to a couple of local guys and they're saying that they're not catching zander and eels at the moment. So we might be struggling when we move on. It all depends on what Matt can build up with his barbel catch. But I won't give up, you know, I'll carry on fishing to the end. But I can feel the time ticking away and it's running out. But I'm relaxed because I've got no alternative. With this style of fishing, it's a waiting game, and you know, you either sit here fretting and being stressed, or you sit here and enjoy the sunshine, as I'm doing, and relaxing. Because we've got a long way ahead of us, and at some stage we've got to take time to chill out. And you know, you've got to look after yourself. You know, it's a bit of a marathon, really. But yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the sunshine, hoping that that rod just nods and pulls over and I've got my zander.
Well, I'm into another barbel now and they're starting to come steady. But I've got to think about Mick up in the next swim, because he's taking on a really difficult task of trying to catch a fish that may not even be there. And that's what rod race is about. It's about teamwork. And while I'm bagging, Mick's trying to catch that bonus species. Well, it's not that small. It's a bit bigger than I thought. Just putting him in the unhooking area. It's a really good place to unhook the fish, this. It's a little shallow slack pool. No problem if I slip in, I'll just get a wet foot. But it makes handling the barbel really easy because they're still in the water, you know. And so they're in perfect condition when you pop them back, which is great. There's the hook out. And there you go, I'm going to claim 6 for that, and I'm being pretty harsh on myself perhaps. No. If you're watching this and you're from Her Majesty's Constabulary, you will have noticed a boat going past at very high speed, which is now soaking my feet because of the waves. Well, the number of barbel I'm catching on the Trent shows what an amazing river it is. I mean, it's very prolific right now. There's big barbel here, there's big chub here, there's all kinds of big fish, and it really is very much a river in its pomp. This is the time for the Trent. Well, another one to go back. This takes me up to just shy of £50 today. Well, one thing I am conscious of, you know, is how good the weather's been on this trip so far, because that is the one thing that could seriously derail it. And as for today, well, it's extremely windy, as you can probably hear and see, and it's straight in my face. I mean, we've got a big westerly here and it's blowing hard, but you know what? Southwest winds, in my experience, they're really good for fishing. I never worry about them. Get a hard cold wind, that may be a slightly different thing, but a big westerly like this, normally the fishing's pretty damn good, and we're certainly getting that today. This is turning into a fantastic day. I'm getting regular bites now. And here's another fish, one of the smaller ones, probably about 5 pounds, I suppose. And that's a small fish for here. Crazy. Fantastic fishing. Well folks, time to open another bag of ground bait. I'm bagging up and I need more bait.
You seem really busy, Matt.
Oh, well, you know, I'm really on it. I mean, I feel that you've got to ride the wave, you know, I'm on the fish. So every one I catch adds more poundage in weight and makes the rest of the trip a little bit less perilous, to be honest, because it's tight. It's going to be really tight to do this race, and we've got to make the most of days like this, because there will be bad and slow days. That's rod race. I'm on a mission, and I love being on a mission, especially when my mission is to catch barbel.
Well, I've been sitting here for a few hours and basically nothing's happened, and I'm beginning to think I'm wasting my time, but I've got another plan. Somebody's told me that this swim I'm fishing in is very good for a bleak. So I'm going to set up a whip, get some maggots, and I'm going to start fishing for a bleak now. I'm still going to leave the rods out for the zander and the eel, but a bleak, little teeny silver fish like that, it's worth 50 points. And I'm just going to pull all the stops out now and try and catch one.
Well, we've had a really good day, and I'm glad that the gamble's paid off of going after a number of barbel, because I've already, of course, had my first barbel, which gives me 50 points. But just today alone, I've had over 50 pounds of barbel already, which means that even if Mick doesn't get that bonus species, and it looks pretty tough to be honest, then the gambler going for the weight of barbel, the poundage of fish, has really paid off. So it's really interesting. What I'm putting mainly in the feeder today is not pellets, I'm putting in chili hemp. And you can see in there that you've got the dark hemp seeds, and those red bits are basically flake chilies. And that flavour penetrates the bottom of the river and makes fish dig for what's there. So the great thing is I'm not giving them too much in the form of pellet to fill them up. And I'm making them work for it. And it's going really well. I'm delighted with the tactic actually. So it's mainly hemp in the feeder, just a few pellets, that'll do, maybe a couple of bigger ones. There we are. And then we're going to top off with another plug of this nice soft ground bait.
Well, it certainly is looking bleak in my swim. Well, it's not looking bleak actually, because I can't catch one. I've caught little dace, roach, perch. I've even had another gudgeon, but I just cannot get a bleak, and the river's supposed to be riddled with them, so I'm fishing quite light. I've got a 2 pound hook link, size 18 hook and a single maggot, and I'm spraying maggots all the time, and I'm getting fish around, but they're not bleak. But you know, that bleak is so important. A bleak is worth 5 double-figure barbel in terms of our points and how far we can travel on. But we've still got plenty of time. You know, the sun's still up there. I don't give up easily. I'm going to keep trying until I get this perishing little thing. This wind is really making this fishing difficult, but I'm persevering. Now the bleak is feeding on the top, so I'm fishing quite shallow. Bleak will be up in the water, but the gudgeon, which I've been trying to catch as well, they're feeding down on the bottom, so I'm not likely to catch them both with the same tactics. So Yeah, casting into the wind is a nightmare. Catapulting accurately is difficult as well. I can't believe I'm having so much trouble over this teeny little fish.
If you fish with pellets, a really nice way of doing it is to create a small hair with the band on the end, and it's just a special device which basically makes banding the pellet a real doddle. So basically you've got a device with 4 prongs on it, and when I press this plunger in, they spread out. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to put it into the band, into the hole, and then I'm going to push like that to open up the band, and then I'm going to slip the pellet into the gap between the prongs and then let go and just slide it off, and there, single 8mm pellet on the hook, and then the feeder's got a lot of chili hemp going in it. Not much pellet. The key's been the chili hemp. They've gone mad for it. They're digging for it, and I know this chili hemp's made the difference. I know it has. This fish is a real plodder. It's just going up and down. I haven't got it off the bottom. It's a good fish, this, and I really don't want to lose it. The thing with big barbel is they don't go off on the mad runs that you get off the smaller fish, which are very energetic. They tend to just plod around where they want, but you can't stop them because they're just very powerful. But they don't go too fast, and when you get a fish like this that's just hanging deep, it's a good one. But don't push it, let it fight out in the current a bit just to tire it out, because once it gets in here, if it hasn't fought out there, you've got major problems. I've got to get this thing up off the bottom. It hasn't come up yet. Well, I'm giving this Normark fast feeder rod a good try out. It's getting a test today, I'll tell you. This is getting a bit nerve-wracking now. Oh, you son of a gun. What a fight. What a fight. This is quite powerful kit I'm using here, you know. You can hear the line singing in the breeze. It's the most beautiful song. It's the river song, but I don't want to lose this. Of course, it could be foul hooked. That's possible. No, it's not foul hooked. It's just a big fish. Oh my word. Sorry. Oh, that's a big one. Crumbs. Oh my lord. Yes, I've got it. Oh wow, well that's a lovely fish. Oh blimey, that one's got some weight. Whew, well that's a pig, that one. Let's get this unhooked first, and then we'll have a look. Now then, I'm shaking here. I mean, I've been fishing for 59 years, and I'm shaking. It's quite a big fish. Mick!
I'm on my way.
Mate, I've got a good one here. I think we need to weigh it.
Oh yeah, that's a double.
It's a pig, yeah.
Yeah. You bring it up carefully, I've got all the equipment ready. Let's find a nice patch. Oh yeah, that's a proper one, mate. Oh, that's easily a double. Easily a double there.
Right, let's weigh it then, mate. I've got the scales over here. They're already zeroed, actually, so we can just drop it on in the sling. We've got to get it the right orientation, Mick, because otherwise it will get squashed up. So it's got to go head up there.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise it'll just go in and get folded, and it could get damage its
Ooh, this is.
internal organs.
Is that the right way?
Yeah, yeah. That's it, mate. Okay. Do you want to do the honours?
Do you want to guess?
11, 13. Go on then, maestro.
You know, 12 exactly. Well, actually, hang on, it's settling. Bloody hell, look at the belly on it.
I'll tell you what, mate. When we said we were going to do this, people probably thought we were mad. Two old blokes like us going back on the road. But let me tell you, Sir Michael, we've still got it.
We have. Are you going to take it back in that sling?
I'm going to get a photograph of it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
let Johnny, our director, have a look at it, and I'm sure he'll probably want to film it. And it's beautiful.
Hang on, leave on it.
It's just beautiful. What a barbel that is.
Superb, isn't it?
Eh? What a barbel that is.
Ooh. I bet you're glad you came down here now, aren't you? Right, let's...
We'll put, actually what I'll do is, if you don't mind, Mick, we've got Tom who's our photographer, and I'm going to get Tom to take a couple of snaps, I think.
Right.
We'll put it in the water for a minute, just to let it recover, and I'll take it down. So you bring the net down, and then Tom can take a couple of pics, and then we'll let her go. You get next to me, let's get a holiday snap, shall we? You want a holiday snap?
Can you get it upright for a bit? Or,
Yeah, that's all right. You just get in next to me, and I'll get back a bit.
You're going to sit down. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
What a beauty. That's one of the best fish we've caught in rod race.
I think it is, yeah. You're going to slide her away.
Oh no, she's got stuck between the rocks, hang on. I don't know what she's doing up there. Hang on, I'll bring her back. Come on. That's not the right way, this is the right way. Come back. That's not the best release I've ever done, Mick, is it?
Very difficult here to release the fish.
No, here we go, I'll just, no, there we go. There you go, girl, now come out. No, 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 no. I'll grab her tail. I'll have to get wet.
Yeah. Yeah, she's ready to go.
There you go, girl. There she is.
What a fish, mate.
Well, that's teamwork. I was
Bloody
just
hell.
saying, you know, rod race is all about teamwork, and I'm sitting here bagging up and catching these fish, and you're doing the hard miles trying to catch a fish that may not even be here, and it must be really frustrating.
No, it's not really. I mean, you know, we each play our part, and you know, I'm happy trying to catch a zander, and you know, I've caught enough barbel not to worry about, you know, not catching them. But
Well, that's why we're partners.
yeah,
mate.
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's teamwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and my little Bleak, when I get it, it'll be worth 50 points.
Yeah, it will.
That's only worth 12 points. So, it's the way it goes, isn't it?
I'm glad you were here, mate. And you know what, mate? When we set out to do this, and people say, why are you going back on the road? Why are you making rod race again? Because neither of us need to do it.
No.
You know, the only thing we can do is burn our reputation, because everybody expects us to be exactly as we were, and I think we are. but there was a danger that we weren't. And we did it for moments like that, I think, together.
I've got one. Oh, I can't wait to tell Matt. I've got one. I wasn't sure at first, but it definitely is a bleak. It's got the little upturned lower lip, quite a large eye, and you could easily mistake it for a dace or a roach, but I'm 100% sure that is a bleak. But you know, this little fish, as small as it is worth every barbel we catch now, because it's worth 50 points. And we've already done the 50 points for the barbel. I'm still going to try and catch a zander. I've got a zander rod out still, but if I don't get a zander, I'm going to be happy with that. As small as it is, I'm going to be happy with it. Well, Sir Matthew.
Hello, mate.
You'll notice I'm grinning like a Cheshire cat.
You are indeed.
See how wide my smile is?
Yes. Do you bring me news?
Well, I approached the river with a float rod and a maggot.
Yes.
I cast in, fired maggots, the float went under, I had a bite, and I played this fish to the net. I didn't need the net because it was only 3 inches long, and it was a bleak. Oh, I'll tell you what,
Well done, mate.
I've had roach, perch, dace, but I've got them absolutely boiling now.
That's unbelievable.
Do you want me to catch another? I don't need to catch another one. I'll persevere for the zander now. I'll try for the zander now.
Or an eel.
Or an eel, yeah.
Well, I've got a bit of news as well, mate. Guess what my total is?
I know you've been bagging up.
I have. But what's your guess?
I bet you've had at least 60, 70, 80 pound, haven't you?
Try 103.
103.
So far.
Wow.
Not finished yet.
God, that's you know, that's a lot of points. A lot of barbel. I bet you've enjoyed that, haven't you?
It's been unbelievable, mate.
Yeah.
So we've had 50 points for the barbel yesterday. We've had 50 points for your gudgeon yesterday. We've got 50 points for your bleak today.
Yeah.
And I've knocked out over 100 points in pounds today as well.
Yeah.
And we haven't finished yet.
No, no. And I must have had at least £3 of tiddlers.
I'm not worried about that. You've got 100 points for the mini species, and that was your job, and you've delivered.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Brilliant, mate. That's teamwork, and that's rod race.
I've just had a bite on the dead bait and I've missed it. Very frustrating. I've just lost a barbel as well. I hooked a barbel right down the edge on a single maggot and a £2 bottom. Within 5 seconds it was like 2 swims down the river. There was no way I was getting it back, and it snapped the hook link. So it's all happening, but I've got nothing to show for it. Oh well, try again. Well, I've changed over from mackerel to a coarse fish bait, little roach. I still had to wait a long time, but eventually I got a run, and here it is. It was hooked on a single hook, a size 4 single, barbelless, so the hook just popped out. A lovely Trent pike. In fact, that's the first pike I've caught in the Trent, so I'm pleased with that.
Well, this has just been an amazing day's barbel fishing. This fish is about £10, I know it is, and That takes my tally up for the day to £120. It's just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Look at this. Gorgeous barbel. Absolute. You know what? I'm going to give myself £9. I might be cheating myself a bit, but that's very fair. That is a stonking fish. And they've just been superb. If you look at the evening light, the crispness of it, the crispness of the fish, the condition of the fish. It's been a really red letter day. And the fact that it's happened in rod race is just mind-blowing, really. I'm so pleased. It's been a wonderful, wonderful day's fishing. I think everything that could have gone right has gone right. And like I say, you ride the waves. That's a double, that is. I don't know whether I can cast in again. I suppose one last cast. Well, what an amazing day, and it's continued all the way up to the end. It's sunset now and I'm playing another fish. Brings me to a total of over £130 of barbel today, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm very confident indeed that we've got enough fish to get to our next location. It has been a truly amazing day, and for me, a real red letter one. Well, we haven't really got time to bask in the glory, you know, because the race goes on. And with this fish, we've got over £130 of barbel today, plus Mick's 2 bonus species, the Bleak and of course the gudgeon. So altogether, it has been an amazing day, and we've easily got enough fish to get to our next destination. So it's time not to bask in the glory, not to rest on our laurels, but it's time to get back on the road and on to the next leg. But this has given us an amazing boost. Well, I finished on one of the smaller fish of the day, about £6, but hey, what a day, what a fish, what a river, game on. Well, mate, I think that's just about it. Everything in the van, and I think it's time to get on the move. Do you agree? Let's go, Geronimo.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's just like going
Well, I say interesting,
garden,
there's pubs and beer gardens. This is your proper Norfolk Broads, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
If reincarnation is a real thing, the Duke, then I'm coming back either as a fisherman or a heron, you know, or an osprey.
Well, I'm hoping that you get some perch. Apparently this is a noted area for perch.
Well, you know what, Sir M? I reckon we've put 2 miles on the board tonight.
You float fishing, Matt?
I am, mate, yeah.
Top tip,
Yeah?
put a float on.
Good Lord, I'd never have thought of that.
Well, if you're a beginner, you might not have thought of it.
Well, I am. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a fish here, Mick, on the float, on a piece of lobworm, and it feels all right, mate, actually. I think we might need the net here.
Ooh.
It's going upstream. It's going like a stink. It's fighting like a barbel. I've got a good one on here, Mick. We've got a day on the Norfolk Broads, beautiful weather, and we're getting perch. I think it gets much better than that, you know. And I'm so glad we did come, because regardless of what's happening in Ultimate Rod Race, we're having a blast here. Yes! Have some of that. Woohoo! Do you want some chips?
It's been beckoning me for a while now.
I'm going to have an extra battered sausage tonight, mate. I think we've earned it.
Ooh, yeah.